Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? Welcome to the Finding Financial Freedom podcast with the Frugal Physician, where Dr. Disha Spath will be your companion on this exciting financial adventure. Get ready to conquer debt, build wealth, and embrace a mindful spending lifestyle that will empower you to live life on your own terms.
Before we get started, I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor, Set for Life. This show is sponsored by Set for Life Insurance, the ultimate client experience in the insurance industry. Are you looking for the perfect insurance coverage that suits your needs? Founded in 1993 by President Jamie K. Fleischner, Set for Life Insurance specializes in individual life, disability, and long-term care insurance. As brokers, they represent numerous companies in the industry, ensuring that their clients get the best products at the most cost-effective rate. What sets Set for Life Insurance apart? You'll enjoy special discounts, priority underwriting handling, and even exceptions in the underwriting process. So why wait? Contact Set for Life Insurance today and let them be your insurance partner for life. Visit their website at www.setforlifeinsurance.com or call them toll-free at 1-888-553-3559. Well, hey there, Josh.
Well, hey there, Disha.
Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. I feel so excited to be your first guest.
Yes. Well, I've been telling our story for a little while, solo. And I'm really glad that you decided to come on and share your perspective.
Of course.
Just like our listeners, I'm really excited to hear it.
Of course. That's what I'm here for.
All right. Well, let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
A little bit about me, 35-year-old guy, IT project manager for a consulting company here in New York. Did my education in IT, get certifications in it through the Army and everything. In a previous career, I was a active duty Army captain in the Signal Corps.
All right. Thank you for your service.
Anything for you?
Thank you. So tell me, how did we meet from your perspective?
It's the classic story. Boy meets girl in bar. The rest is history.
It was technically a restaurant.
It was a restaurant. No, it was the completely chance encounter because I was going to Athens, Georgia, to UGA, the town there, with a friend, and you were meeting your sister there, not realizing that my friend and your sister were really good friends, and neither of them told the other one that they're bringing more people.
Right. Yeah, I found out on the way up to Athens that you would be coming up with your friends.
Right.
And I wasn't super happy about it.
No, it was an uphill battle from there.
Look how it turned out.
I know.
Well, we met in Athens. I was in Savannah at the time, and you were in Augusta.
Yes.
And then we dated for a little while, and then you proposed.
I did.
In Hawaii.
On top of a mountain.
A volcano, let's not forget.
Okay.
It was beautiful. And I matched in Nashville, which was down the street.
My first assignment was in Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is 50 miles or so from Nashville. So it worked out extremely well.
Yeah, it worked out great.
Yeah.
And how did you handle, I came in with $237,000 of student debt. How did you handle that when that came at you when I told you about it?
At the time, being completely honest, it really didn't have a huge impact on me. Well, number one, I was very lucky I didn't have any debt. I got a scholarship through the Army for college. But number two, when we discussed it, it's a big number, but I looked at the repayments that we were doing at the time, and I believe it was income-based at that time, right?
Right.
So it didn't hit us hard. So it didn't really have the impact that it really should have, looking at it in hindsight, completely unprepared, completely not taking it as serious as it needed to be. So that's one of those hindsight's 2020, and we should have worried about that or done more for it sooner.
Yeah, I was making income-based repayments. We weren't making all that much. So the payments were $300 or so a month, which didn't hurt so much.
No.
But when I became an attending and we went into standard repayment.
And we had children.
Yes. And then we only had one income.
Yes, that was huge.
It felt like a mortgage, right? It was $2,500 a month.
No, absolutely. That's part of the whole story as we go on. But we went from having two incomes, no kids, to single income, multiple kids. And it is completely night and day how life hits you.
Yeah. So tell me about your financial challenges and your financial upbringing. What was your upbringing like with money?
I really didn't have one, unfortunately. I feel like that's probably the norm for a lot of people who I've talked to. Friends and, acquaintances and stuff. But my parents, their whole advice to me was work hard, put in a savings account, retire someday, and that was it. That's all they did. I don't think they invest in anything at all. Like my dad has a pension through the state, which thank God they have that, because I don't know what else they would do. I don't know that they do anything. They didn't teach me anything about finances or investing or doing anything remotely logical with money.
Well, to be fair, they have a very nice New York State pension.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, in our day and age, pensions are just not a thing anymore, unless
Right.
you do work for New York State.
That's right.
For many, many, many years. So I guess in their generation, they didn't have to worry about it as much.
That's a good point. Yeah, you bring that up, the whole generational change, the shift from pension plans to retirement plans through employers. Yeah.
Right. I mean, you and I didn't invest in 401ks at all during my residency or during the time that you were in the Army. You
No.
weren't saving for retirement.
Right.
And that's what happens when it's optional, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you don't know anything.
Well, yeah. And then, certain organizations, like they don't educate you extensively on it. I know for me personally in the Army, we had 1 or 2 like hour-long seminar class type things a year.
That's way more than I had.
Okay. Okay. It's a win for Army. Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I remember I had one guy come over and talk to us about finances and how awesome S Corps were
Yeah.
for tax purposes when I was in residency. No, I was in medical school in Blackshear, Georgia, of all places. Anyway, I don't think, you and I didn't have the financial wherewithal when we initially got married.
No, absolutely not.
We did buy that awesome house in Nashville,
Yes.
which has done really well
Yes.
for us.
But that's more, I think, luck than foresight.
I mean, I was thinking about making it a rental property.
Okay. It was more luck on my part.
Well, in any case, remember, Andy didn't even want to show us the house.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And we were like, yeah, I think this will be good. But
Right.
anyway, so we took a big risk. That was
Yes.
a risky buy because everyone told us not to. And we decided to do it and it paid off.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always pay off for
Right.
people.
It's even bigger risk not really knowing what we know now and having the foresight and the knowledge to run the numbers and everything for potential investment in the future and all that. When you don't know any of that, you're like, yeah, I think this will be good.
Yeah.
Sure, let's do it.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm looking back now, would I buy in that kind of a neighborhood when it was so violent now? Probably not. Probably not. But,
Yeah.
we were young and thank God that turned out well.
Yeah. And
Moving on, though. So now that we have financial wherewithal,
Mhm.
let's go back to our journey. We bought this house in Nashville. I finished my residency. You got out of the Army. You came back with Crohn's and you're struggling with your medical issues.
medically discharged.
Right. Yeah, it sucked. But we decided, listen, we're going to move to the beach because it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. We went to Savannah, Georgia. We bought a house,
Yes.
an attending size house
Yes.
on my income.
Yes.
We felt really squeezed, right? With
Yeah.
the student loans going into standard repayment, we had 2 mortgages
Mm-hmm.
and the kids.
I think we still had car payments then too.
We still had car payments. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we had a lot of fixed expenses
Absolutely.
and only one stream of income.
Right. And the cost of living, similar to, if not more than Nashville for Savannah.
Yeah. We still got a very nice house for $330-something thousand,
Yeah.
which is awesome compared to New York.
Yes. Yeah, you're not wrong.
But still,
Yeah.
I felt squeezed. I went to sew that couch cover. I came up to you and I said, things have to change.
Oh my God, yeah. No, I distinctly remember that event. This was for our second son. You were on maternity and we had no income because I was staying home, finishing my master's, watching the kids during the days. We didn't have to pay for daycare or anything like that. And you decided on maternity to sew a couch cover for this old sectional we had down in the basement.
Yeah, I wanted to make a nice play area for the kids. And we actually refinished that entire basement ourselves.
We did.
During this time.
Right. But the realization that you had, it's like, what am I doing? Like, I am spending time doing this because I feel squeezed for money and not spending time with my newborn when I'm on maternity leave for them.
Right.
And I just remember like you coming up the stairs and like the look and like the determination that you had on your face for that. Oh my God, I would have agreed to anything. I would like, yes, you are 100% right. Let's do it. I'm scared.
Well, I had a lot of hormones in play. I will remind you. But yeah, I mean, I felt like we were going at it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I was clearly making decisions that were not in alignment with what I actually valued.
Right. It was a really good catalyst. As bad as that situation was in terms of we put ourselves there.
Yeah.
But it was a great catalyst.
Right.
For us to, recognize that we needed to make a change.
Yes. So we started cutting back on spending, and a lot of it was me stopping ordering things from Amazon and trying to make our house look like a Pinterest, masterpiece. A lot of it was me cutting the spending back because I'm a bigger spender than you are. What were some of the biggest sacrifices you think you made during our financial journey?
I mean, like you said, I'm not a huge spender. So there wasn't a huge cutback for me. It made me a lot more conscious of what we spent money on, which, I mean, that by itself at a baseline is a good thing. Generating that feeling in me to be conscious of what I'm spending money on, being conscious of, quality. Am I getting a good deal? Is this going to make sense for us to have it? Do I really need it? Do we really need it? Kind of thing. That mentality to start that journey was great. But going forward, I wouldn't really consider it a sacrifice because for us, it was needed change. We needed to improve the future prospects for our family and ourselves. We want to provide for our kids. And if we are living paycheck to paycheck, how can we provide them with what we want to give them? We want to provide opportunities for them. We want to go places, we want them to experience the world and see things and be able to do stuff, right? And if that meant that spending less, downsizing, all that kind of stuff, that's not a sacrifice. That's something that we needed to do to secure our future. I mean,
I will say to some things I noticed about you. When I first met you, you couldn't cook anything that wasn't out of a box.
And even then, with a box and instructions, wasn't great.
Well, you now cook things from scratch, and I think it's better than mine.
No.
I think your cooking is better than mine.
Nope. Never agree to that one.
Well, I think you've done great there. And then you also started servicing our cars, which is not something you were doing before.
Yeah, no, and servicing stuff in the house and just taking the time to research something, finding out how to fix something, a little bit of trial and error. A lot more about cars, lawnmowers, electrical systems, plumbing than I ever did before. Drywall repair, I probably consider myself an expert in that at this point. That's one of those kind of silver linings to a lot of this is that when you decide to take this on and cut back on spending or hiring professionals to come in and do stuff, you realize oh, I can do this. I can learn all this stuff. A, you save money. B, you have a sense of accomplishment. It was really nice to foster those skills.
You learned new skills. Mm-hmm. You helped our family cut back our spending. How did you adjust your financial goals as we went along and the lifestyle that we were changing? How did you feel about that?
Again, it kind of goes back to the changes that we made were needed. And I understood that. Mm-hmm. A part of me, I'd like to have the nice stuff, like to spend the money to go do the nice restaurants and have the nice things. But when you really sit down and understand and internalize what needs to happen in changing financial goals, it's you kind of I understand this. Let's do it. Let's get on board.
I remember your face when we were looking at the rental properties in Albany.
Yeah.
How did that feel going from a nice house back down to a resident house?
I mean, again, it was a needed sacrifice, but it did hurt a little bit. It was an adjustment because we went from a very nice house with a big wraparound porch on an island in Savannah, Georgia. We could go to the beach whenever we wanted, nice cool breezes, and it was really, really...
What cool breeze? We were in Georgia.
Sorry, cool breeze in the winter.
There you go.
That one corner of the deck had the breeze. No, anyway.
That's true. That one corner had this really nice salty breeze. It was beautiful.
No, it did. It hurt. It hurt. And going through it, I won't say I wasn't kind of disappointed because I was. Because we went from a really nice lifestyle of kind of exuberance to now we're tracking money. And we're downsizing and everything else. Yeah, it's a little bit of a downer during, but I gotta say, in hindsight, seeing where we started and what we were doing financially, making the change and getting to where we are now in an extremely comfortable position. It's hindsight, every single step, every single frustration, every single thing that we did, every change that we made, 100% worth it.
Did you feel deprived when we were living in that smaller house?
I don't know if deprived is the right word. I definitely wanted more.
Like
Again,
more space or more stuff?
a little bit of both. I think that's a little bit of human nature. Again, it's comparing what we were doing to where we were currently or in that moment. Mm-hmm. I definitely wanted more stuff, and I definitely wanted a bigger house. And I know that was the goal. It's hard to see the future, when you're in that moment. Again, where we are now, 100% worth it every step.
When I introduced the concept of financial independence to you, you were really on board. How do you feel about it now?
I think it's still like a great goal to strive for. I think it's something that we should continue to strive for our entire lives. Being financially independent and not being beholden to like an employer or, any one single income, diversifying the income that you're getting so that if a catastrophe happens, if you lose a job, if you go on maternity leave, again, maybe.
That's not happening, right?
No, that's not in my plan. But I'm just saying, if any of those scenarios happen, like the level of comfort we have going into it is so much higher now. It puts us in such an advantageous position.
Yes.
It's worth it. And to maintain that through life and then teaching your kids that so they don't make the same mistakes we did. As you continue doing it, as you continue to grow and, become more financially independent and everything else, it's just like doors open up.
Right.
Experiences open up. Things that you never thought you'd be able to do are now within your grasp.
Right. Absolutely. So Josh, how do you feel about our rental property investing? I mean, we went from owning one accidental almost rental to owning several. Mm-hmm. And there was a time where we were buying one every year.
Yeah.
What was that process like for you?
So I got to say, in hindsight, probably the best thing we could have done at the time, the best decision we made. Initially, finding the rental properties, finding the property managers, going through the mortgage process multiple times, because once is enough for anybody.
Running the numbers,
absolutely. And I really got to applaud everything that you did for this, because you were the heavy lifter for this. You were the one who found the properties, scheduled the viewing, found the managers. I was there supporting, and I did repairs with you when we got there, but like this was majority of you.
Well, I mean, you do help with a lot of the repairs.
Yeah.
We turn the properties over ourselves most of the time.
Yeah.
The kids help too.
It's true, they do.
It's really a family venture.
That's true, and that's good. I love that they're involved in it so far, but yeah, it was definitely an amazing decision, and it really kind of made me realize what we can do with more investment, adding to those streams of income.
Tell us a little bit about the lifestyle and inflation process that we've gone through and how you feel about it, and where do you want to end up with the inflation?
Yeah, and this is kind of one of those things where once we established that we needed to make a change, we decided to do it, follow through with it, paid off the cars, paid off student loan debt, and got into a much better position. And we were able to reevaluate. We saw the money coming in, we saw the money going out, and we could kind of take another snapshot of everything that we were currently doing and where everything was. So we could adjust. Just because you start doing one thing doesn't mean you have to maintain it forever if it doesn't fit your current situation. So we were able to sit down and have that discussion and adjust and see, okay, well, we've accomplished the big things that we wanted to do right away. What's our next goal? What do we want to strive for? Mm-hmm. And being that we have 2 young boys and we want them to experience things, go places, do stuff, visit other countries, which we are lucky enough to do.
Right.
That's what we decided our goal was. So instead of just putting everything towards financial independence, every single cent, it was, okay, we are going to strive for that. Maybe not at the pace we were, but that's because our goals have shifted. And that's what we're providing for our kids.
Yeah, so we've taken a sort of slower approach.
Yes.
Of course, I've also cut back my hours, but thankfully, through diversification of workplaces, I've been able to kind of maintain my income, even though I cut back my hours. But
right. Oh, and before we forget, I also got a job in New York, which helps.
That's right. Oh, right.
We didn't say that before.
Yeah, so we should mention that Josh started working basically as soon as we got up to New York, about 6 months in.
Yeah.
And that really helped our loan payoff journey.
Yes.
Really helped change the delta, increase the delta between our income and expenses.
Right.
And added another stream of income.
Absolutely.
And that's really served us well over the years. We both have had job changes, and we've both been able to use our newfound financial flexibility in order to create better work environments for ourselves.
Absolutely.
And that's really invaluable too, you know?
Absolutely.
Do you think if we reach financial independence by 45, like we're planning on, then do you think you're going to retire then?
I wouldn't retire, no. I enjoy working. I would find like a passion project or passion projects that I could do. I do enjoy like working with wood and doing that kind of stuff. So maybe turning that into something that could be profit making on some degree. Something that can bring in something, knowing that it's not essential.
Yeah.
So something that I can continue to work, continue to have like a professional goal. I wouldn't have to stay in the same field. I could explore what I want. You know, I could go back and take classes again. And that's the thing. That's the kind of really nice part about not being beholden to any single stream of income or anything.
Right. You can pursue more entrepreneurial ventures.
Right. Exactly.
Well, Josh, I'm really glad you're here. I'm really glad you've come to share your perspective on our journey. Is there anything I can do to support you more?
No, babe, you're doing everything perfectly. I would never ask for more.
Really?
Yes. We support each other in this. I can honestly say that we've been extremely supportive of each other the entire process. We've always been kind of open. The budget dates that we do have been amazing, and we support each other that way so that we keep each other accountable. You know, we both know what's going on. We both have vision on finances coming in and going out. And then in terms of the paying off the debt and everything, we both had to be on board for that. And we were. And it worked out wonderfully. Having that open communication was key.
Yeah. And let's not forget, I mean, it's not like we reached the end of the rainbow here. Every month we kind of recalibrate, readjust, kind of look at what we're spending. It's an ongoing process of balancing.
I wouldn't want it to stop.
Yeah.
Knowing what I know now, seeing what I've seen in hindsight, I don't want that to stop. It keeps us accountable to ourselves and to each other, and it keeps us on track. I don't think I'll ever get to the point again where I can be like, oh yeah, we're fine. I'm not going to worry about it. Like, nope, this is my mindset now. And I think it serves us very well that we're both like that. And we both think, you know, that this is such a good thing. We support each other through it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely sleep better at night knowing we have like the right amount of insurance that you'll be taken care of. And then we have at least a handle on where everything is. Yeah. I even wrote you a letter telling you how to invest the insurance money if I die.
Yep.
But it does.
Didn't like that.
That was at the beginning of the pandemic, right? We were so scared, and I was going in like way
front line. I mean, that danger was real.
Yeah.
So, and it's something that we had to talk about and had to work through. So.
Yeah. Well, thank God that's over.
Yeah. Thank God.
Thank God we didn't need to use the letter. I know many, many people did, though, and it's a tragic thing that happened. But I'm glad we're making out of it now. Well, Josh, are there any other last words of wisdom you'd like to leave with our audience today?
So, having gone through all of this and being where we were, living basically paycheck to paycheck, anybody can do this. Anybody can determine they need to change. You know, and step one is just really sitting down with your partner, your spouse, your family, your decision makers in your household, and really figuring out, okay, where are we financially? What's coming in? What's going out every month? What are my fixed expenses? What are my superfluous expenses and things I can cut back on? You know, do I have debt that I need to get rid of? Because it doesn't have to stay there. We did an amazing job paying off the student loan debt, the car debt in a very short amount of time. Anybody can do that. You just have to take stock of where you are and then stay on track, communicate with each other, hold each other and yourselves accountable. Big tip there is to have budget dates.
So yeah, I was just going to ask you, budgets, good, bad, ugly?
At first, they were ugly. And then they were only bad. Now they're amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely turned the corner. I was one of those people who were like, oh, budget, really? We have to? Yes, you have to. You have to know what you're doing with your money. You have to know where your money is and how it can work against you or work for you.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't even know how we functioned without knowing. Just last month, I found some subscription that was still ongoing.
Yeah.
Air DNA, right? Looking at short-term rentals.
Yep.
And I've forgotten that I'd signed up for that subscription. And, I saw it on our budget date. And I'm like, going to go deactivate that now.
Yeah.
Right? And we pick up on stuff like that
Absolutely.
every month.
And even I think once or twice it's helped with fraud too. We've caught things like these expenses whoa, I wasn't in Cancun.
Or the guy in India who charged us twice for the Nintendo Switch, which we still need to follow up on, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, good stuff.
Good stuff.
Thank you for being here, Josh.
Anytime. Glad to be here.
Thanks. I think we should do this more often.
I would love that.
Awesome. Well, I'm really glad you were here today. Thank you for listening. And make sure you listen into the next few episodes where we talk about the 8 financial baby steps for physicians to get their financial house in order. You can do it. These are the kind of the steps that we did. I've modified them to be even better than what we did. And I think you will really benefit from the next few episodes. Make sure you tune in. We'll see you in episode 3. A big thank you for our sponsor today, Set for Life Insurance. No matter what your insurance needs are, Set for Life Insurance has you covered. They're a nationally recognized leader in disability, life, and long-term care insurance, serving clients across all 50 states. Their dedicated team specializes in assisting medical residents, physicians, dentists, business owners, and other high-income professionals. That's all for today's episode of Finding Financial Freedom with the Frugal Physician. If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. Your reviews mean a lot and help us get the word out. If you have any feedback, suggestions, or questions to us, please reach out to me at thefrugalphysician@gmail.com, on Twitter @frugalphysician, on Facebook @thefrugalphysician, or you can join the Frugal Physician's Facebook group. It's time to say goodbye. But fear not, my frugal-minded friends. Finding Financial Freedom with the Frugal Physician will be back with more inspiration, knowledge, and money magic. Remember, the journey to financial independence is a marathon, not a sprint. Stay committed to your goals, continue honing your frugal skills, and never forget the incredible power you possess to shape your financial future. Together, we'll make waves in the world of healthcare and rewrite the rules of financial success. Thank you for all that you do for your patients, your families, and for everyone around you. Until we meet again, keep embracing frugality and living your best life.
The content shared on this podcast should not be taken as individualized financial advice. We are here to share our knowledge and experiences, but it is crucial to consult with professionals such as accountants, financial advisors, or attorneys who can provide personalized guidance based on your specific needs.